Hey there.
Hello.
Let me get straight to the chase. Would you take my bubbling cottonhead for your Cloud9 brain bucket?
Give me a sec. No. Why would I do that when buy orders on my bucket are for keys higher? I'll instantly lose profit if I make that trade.
What do you mean? They both have the same price on backpack.tf. If you want, I can sweeten up the offer by adding my strange professional killstreak well-worn quack canvased holy mackerel. It's a fish skin.
Clearly the price on your hat is outdated. That fish skin might be worth something, but nobody in their right mind would buy it from me. God, anything else you could offer?
How about I buy a life taunt? You're the spy, so you could actually equip it.
Scout, do you think I am an idiot? That taunt is worth even less than the fish skin. You're 4 keys short. You'll have to add at least 4 keys for me to consider an offer.
Dude, chill out, whatever, man. I'll add an unusual taunt instead. It's a party trick taunt with the Midnight Whirlwind effect.
That taunt is horrible, but I could sell that to a bot for 3 keys. Getting closer.
Come on, these offers are fair. You're just being too stubborn to accept anything reasonable.
What are you talking about? Your offers are shit. What the hell is going on here?
I'm just trying to sell my unusual here, and Mr. Wall Street won't accept my perfectly fair offers.
Precisely the opposite is true. Scout wants me to trade for his shitty unusual by adding shitty items. He's quite the imbecile.
No, I'm not. You can't just call me that. You need to apologize right now.
No, I don't. It's true. Shut up, both of you! I have no goddamn clue what you maggots are talking about. Talk slower.
Yeah, calm down. I'm sure we can work this out. Whether some scat just offer his strange cool get cardigan. That's about 4 keys. That would even out the trade.
What the heck? The cardigan is not for sale. It's part of my dream set. I'm obviously not going to sell it.
You know what? I'm out of here.
Okay, fine. I concede. I'll add what you want.
What the hell is that offer? The unique version is worth to refined. With keys worth 60 ref these days. To ref may as well be 0.
Stout check offer to refined.
What? It's a cardigan.
You are truly the dumbest traitor I've ever encountered. I swear to God, trading used to be so much easier when idiots like you weren't running rampant.
This is kind of funny.
It's hard to deny that TF2 trading has gotten more difficult over the years. Talk to any trader who's been around a long time, and they'll almost certainly tell you they preferred trading back when they first started. While the reasons for this vary from player to player, and may be rooted in nostalgia more than anything else, there seem to be 2 issues in particular that are cited disproportionately often: the steady inflation of keys over the years, and the rapid proliferation of automated trade bots. Combined, most players agree that these 2 issues make trading less profitable, more time-consuming, and less enjoyable than it used to be. While key inflation and automation no doubt impact traders on a regular basis, I'm not convinced these issues by themselves are sufficient to explain the current state of the economy. Put differently, if we were to magically solve the key to refined ratio and ban trade bots from the classifieds, I don't think trading would suddenly become easy. Sure, cheaper keys might make low-tier trading more viable, but if you can't find people willing to buy your items, it's still going to take a really long time. Further, eliminating trade bots might temporarily increase profit margins, but there's nothing stopping regular traders from driving them back down again. Thus, in my opinion, the effects of inflation and automation are largely overblown. These issues impact the economy, but they're not the only factors at play. The health of the TF2 economy is a result of many different factors: players, items, websites, and more, each interacting with each other at once, and by reducing the economy to 2 monolithic problems, inflation and automation, it's easy to gloss over some of the less obvious, but perhaps more important reasons for why trading feels so hard these days. Thus, in this video, I'm going to take a closer look at 3 different reasons in detail. I'm going to show you guys how each of these issues impact traders in a profound way, and then use this insight to give you guys some advice about how to navigate the current trading landscape. Alright, so without further ado, let's get right on into it.
Problem number 1. There are too many damn items.
Tell me if this sounds familiar. You hop onto a trade server, trade somebody up, and offer, say, a spelled item. You make an offer that by all accounts is actually pretty good. Perhaps you just want the spell gone, so you're happy to overpay to sell it faster. Yet despite this, the other party flat out rejects your offer, claiming that they don't trade for spells at all. You trade up the next person, and the person after that, and they all say the same thing. While it might be easy to blame these traders for being somehow incompetent or unreasonable, the truth is it's not their fault. The real reason so many people don't want to trade for spells, skins, unusual taunts, and more is that there are simply too many kinds of items out there for any trader to be familiar with everything at once. It's just not possible. Every time Valve adds new items to the game, whether that be more cosmetics, unusual effects, or an entirely new kind of item, the overall complexity of trading creeps higher and higher. There's more for traders to learn, keep track of, buy and sell, and so on and so forth. This is a phenomenon known as complexity creep. Back in 2011 or 2012, there were a lot fewer items in the game, and most could be understood pretty easily. Items were generally differentiated by their quality, and most items, with the exception of unusuals, only had one or two different versions. However, as the years progressed and Valve continued to add more and more and more to the game, not only did the number of new items increase, but so did the complexity of them. A single war paint, for instance, can have 5 different wears, can be strange, unusual, or both, and can be applied to almost any weapon in the game. Add-ons like strange parts, kill streaks, and festivizers can be applied in tandem to create one-of-a-kind weapons. All of this is a lot to keep track of, and at some point it simply became impossible to keep up. These days, there are so many kinds of items, each of which have so many different versions, that even the most experienced traders can only focus on a small part of the market at once, being forced to effectively ignore everything else. Once more, with so many kinds of items available, buyers are naturally looking for more specific items. What is the chance that someone on a trade server wants a strange professional killstreak well-worn quack-canvassed holy mackerel? Realistically, close to zero. Even if they want something similar, like a factory new holy mackerel, yours is strange, killstreak, and the wrong wear. Convincing people to trade for stuff they don't want can be a difficult, if not impossible, task. Based on our discussion so far, it might seem as if nobody really trades anymore. If most traders only specialize in a narrow slice of the figurative item pie, then most traders can't trade with each other, and good trades must be few and far between. Yet, any reasonable trader would tell you that's not true at all. More people than ever are making trades and getting the items that they want, they're just not getting them through ad hoc trades on trade servers. Instead, they're buying items directly from the classifieds on websites like backpack.tf. And that brings me to my second issue.
Problem number 2. The market is too damn efficient.
It's possible this statement doesn't make any sense to you. To be fair, it took me a few rounds to wrap my head around it, and I wrote this script myself. So what do I mean then by an efficient market in the context of TF2 trading? In my opinion, an efficient market is one where information is widely available, making it easy for people to track down and buy the items that they want for a price that reflects the value that they're actually worth. Based on this definition, I'd say an efficient market sounds pretty good. So how could it be so bad for traders? To find out, let's go back in time. Back when trading was first added, there was very little information about trading on the internet. There are no trading guides, few places to talk about trading, and no place to price items outside of community-run spreadsheets. In this low-tech economy, learning how to trade well was difficult, and largely involved spending long hours on trade servers watching those with more experience. Those who did learn the ropes, however, were rewarded immensely. They could use their information asymmetry to make huge amounts of profit, preying on newbie traders who didn't know the value of their items. This economy may have been great for top traders, but it definitely wasn't ideal for most. Over the years, however, websites like TF2 Outpost and Backpack.tf popped up, giving players more information about trading. Players could look up the price of any item and find buyers and sellers on the classifieds, making it easier for the average player to learn how to trade. That said, there was still ambiguity when it came to item prices. Backpack.tf was just a price guide, and there was always a gap between what buyers were willing to pay and sellers wanted to sell for. An unusual in 2015, for instance, might be priced at 25 keys, with sellers on TF2 Outpost for 22, 24, and 25 keys. There might be a generic quick buyer willing to pay, say, 15 keys, meaning a trader could buy the unusual for as low as 15 keys and sell it for as much as 22 keys, giving them 7 keys of potential profit. In recent years, however, the gap between buyers and sellers has shrunk dramatically. While many are quick to blame trade bots, the bigger culprit, in my opinion, was Backpack.tf's introduction of buy orders in mid-2015. Although players had been able to sell on backpack.tf for years, up until this point the only place to find buyers was on TF2 Outpost. However, TF2 Outpost wasn't designed well for buy listings, and buyers were often limited. But once backpack.tf added buy orders, one could view every buyer and seller of an item, sorted by price, on a single easy-to-use classifieds page. It was simply a superior user experience. But with more clarity came more competition. When all it takes these days is a couple of clicks to beat the highest buyer or lowest seller, it's become all too easy for the backpack.tf classifieds to settle on a narrow price range, even for rare items like unusuals. And of course, the lower the range, the lower the potential profit is for traders. Thus, while the current economy satisfies my definition of an efficient market, items are easy to track down and largely sell for fair prices, it's simply not good for traders. In my opinion, trading is the most profitable for the highest number of traders when the price of items are understood well enough that both parties can agree on a general price range, but not understood well enough that the price can be narrowed down too far. In other words, we want the market to be somewhat efficient, but we don't want it to be too efficient. There needs to be some amount of ambiguity, some amount of market inefficiency, so that traders have profit margins worth going after. The backpack.tf classifieds, unfortunately, make the economy too efficient. Even without trade bots, the structure of buyers and sellers on the same classifieds page makes the underlying market too transparent, leading to lower profit margins overall.
Problem number 3. Nobody has to participate in the damn economy.
It's easy to forget at times, but TF2 is a cosmetic-based economy. Aside from regular weapons, which players get for essentially free, items in TF2 are entirely cosmetic and don't affect gameplay in any meaningful capacity. Sure, you might have the most expensive loadout in the game, with a Burning Flames team captain and golden frying pan, but practically speaking, you have the same chance at winning a fight as a free-to-play player who just installed the game last week. In my opinion, this is the perfect model for a free-to-play game like TF2, and I highly doubt the game would still be around without it. However, it comes at a big cost for the economy. Players simply don't need to engage with the market in order to play the game. The biggest consequence of this is that demand for items is actually fairly low. The average TF2 player has less than a key in their backpack, and even those with bigger inventories tend not to buy items very often. Back in the old days, demand wasn't such a big issue for 2 reasons. First, there weren't that many items in the game, so demand on each individual item was higher, and second, new players could get into trading by converting weapon drops into other valuable items, allowing more players to participate in the economy. These days, however, there are literally thousands of unique items in the game, and with no way for new players to get into trading without investing money in the first place, it often feels like no matter what items you have, you're not going to sell them in any reasonable time frame. This feeling is further exacerbated by the fact that when casual players do buy items, they rarely interact with the average trader. Instead, they buy from the Steam community market, marketplace.tf, or trade bots, never once adding somebody for discussion or jumping onto a trade server. It might seem obvious, but trading with casual players is essential to making profit. These players simply want to buy items to keep, so they don't mind paying a little bit more if they can get an item they've been looking for. But when these players don't ever need to trade with real traders, then profit traders are increasingly stuck trading with each other. Putting this all together, it can seem like the economy is a bit of a mess. There are so many items and so much to learn that trading can feel awfully overwhelming. Demand for items is low, and buyers and sellers quickly race to the bottom, making it tough to sell on the classifieds. Yet being proactive by hopping on trade servers is unlikely to help either, because you'll end up trading with other profit traders and people who don't know how to trade for whatever you're selling. And all of this is without significantly mentioning the concerns of inflation and automation that inspired this discussion in the first place. So, is the economy screwed? Should we all just give up and go home? I don't think so. Despite its challenges, the TF2 economy is still profitable to this day, and trading can still be a fun and rewarding endeavor. While I'm not going to try and convince you that trading is somehow more profitable than getting a minimum wage job, because it generally isn't, I don't want you guys to get discouraged either. In fact, our discussion about the pitfalls of the economy can actually be a great source of insight into how traders can beat the current market and continue to make profit in today's economy. One of the biggest issues with complexity creep, for instance, is that it makes ad hoc trading difficult. You might make an offer with an unusual taunt, but if the other party doesn't know how to trade taunts, they're not going to like your offer. However, there is a kind of item that everyone knows how to trade, and that's currency. The glory days of item offers may be in the past, but people still love to trade for keys and metal, and if you can stick to making offers with pure on one side of the trade or the other, you'll have a much higher chance of making a trade. Once more, people are often willing to give some pretty incredible discounts for pure, so it certainly never hurts to have some extra on you. Another insight here has to do with market efficiency. As mentioned before, the best market for traders is one with some uncertainty over item prices. With this in mind, you shouldn't trade for items with obvious prices because there is no profit to be made. At the same time, you shouldn't trade for items with especially ambiguous prices because people won't want to risk trading for them. The trick then is to find items with unclear prices that are still relatively well known. Spelled items are a good example. They're complex and can't be priced on backpack.tf, yet they become popular enough in recent years that you can definitely find a buyer if you know where to look. Finally, if you understand the importance of trading with casual players, then as a profit trader, you should always buy items with casual players in mind. If you trade for an unpopular item, knowing full well that you're going to have to resell to another trader, then think twice before trading for it. It's going to be frustrating to sell, and you're not going to end up making very much profit. Instead, focus on a niche kind of item, find where casual players buy them, and get into that market as a seller. It might take longer to sell items this way, but at least you're not wasting your time trying to sell to other traders, and you'll make a lot more profit in the end. These insights, of course, are just a start. If you take a step back and think critically about each of the issues I outlined in this video, I'm sure you can come up with your own ideas that can help you improve as a trader. Just remember to be patient, and don't get frustrated if you can't make profit immediately. If there's anything you should take away from this video, it's that trading is not easy and it's gonna take time. But eventually, given enough hard work and determination, I guarantee you'll find success in your own way. Thanks for watching.